Good evening and welcome to the Wisconsin IDEA Principal Preparation Application Assistance webinar. My name is Dr. Tina Salzman, and I'm a clinical professor in the Department of Educational Leadership and Policy Analysis, otherwise known as ELPA, here at UW-Madison. I also serve as the director of our principal preparation programs, including the Wisconsin IDEA Principal Prep Program, which we call the WIP. Thank you for taking time to join me today. I'm excited to share information about our program and guide you through the application process. Before I get started, I just want to share that I arrive and come to this job with over close to 30 years of experience in education, including a variety of public K-12 schools in our great state of Wisconsin. Before we dive into program details, I want to share some exciting rankings that reflect the quality of education that you'll receive here at UW-Madison's School of Education. Our Graduate School of Education is ranked #1 among graduate schools of education in the United States, according to the U.S. News World Report. And specifically in education administration, we're ranked #2 among graduate schools. On a global scale, we're ranked among the best 20 schools of education in the world, according to the Shanghai rankings, Times Higher Education, and QS rankings. And these rankings ultimately reflect our commitment to excellence and the quality of preparation that you'll receive both in our programs and from our pioneering faculty. Before we jump in, I want to go through and provide a brief overview of our Wisconsin IDEA Principal Preparation Program's structure. First and foremost, our program is equity focused. We strive for a focus on fairness and justice for our future and aspiring leaders. Our curriculum is culturally relevant, inclusive, challenging, and empowering. Our programs aim to address systemic inequities in education and ultimately allowing our full-time practitioners to participate in our program. Because it's delivered fully online, it allows students from anywhere in our geographic area to complete their degree while continuing to work in their positions. The entire program takes roughly 4 semesters or 15 months to complete for a total of 30 credits. Students will note that we do have rolling admissions through April 15th. And as I've mentioned, the format, because it's online and because we meet for specified days during the summer and has a weekend format during the academic year, which I'll talk about a little later, it is and embraces our working educators. This summer would begin our kickoff semester, and this particular kickoff has a strong focus on building community among the cohort and setting a strong foundation for the coming months. So let me briefly walk you through the curriculum structure across our 4 semesters. You'll note that during the first summer, our enrolled students will complete 3 classes. And then beginning in the fall of year 1, there are 2 classes. And this is also the time when students begin their required field experience. A note about the field experience: it spans 2 semesters, as you can see, the fall and the spring semester, and it is a requirement through DPI needed for licensing. Students frequently will complete their field experience in the school in which they are employed, although that is not a requirement. There are opportunities often that present themselves for students in buildings beyond their current setting, and we certainly work with them to make that as smooth a process as possible. In spring, again, of the first year, students are enrolled in, again, 2 more classes, and that second semester of the field experience. And then during the final summer, they are rounding out their program with 2 classes and the culminating portfolio. The portfolio is required by state statute and under PI 34, and is a product that students are gradually working towards throughout their program. In other words, as you complete various courses, tasks, assignments, papers, group projects, etc., moving through your courses, each one of those is aligned to specific domains within the portfolio. By the time you have completed your program, you have a pool of high-quality artifacts from which you can select various pieces to include in that final portfolio. And then it's really your job in the final months to pull those pieces together into one coherent artifact. So let's talk about admissions now that you have an understanding and kind of general overview of what the program entails. Our admissions deadline is April 15th. However, we will close applications when we reach enrollment capacity. So we do strongly recommend that applicants apply early. We do use a rolling admissions process, which means that as applications are received, we do review fully completed applications on a monthly basis. So our next review will be coming up in December, at which time we will again take a look at completed applicants, and this will continue through the final deadline of April 15th. To be considered, students must meet some basic criteria or requirements, including be eligible to hold a teaching license or currently hold, have a minimum undergraduate GPA of 3.0. A note about this, we do understand that a variety of circumstances may arise that affect a student's GPA. And so if your GPA does fall below a 3.0, you are encouraged to still apply, but to include some additional materials supporting why that isn't necessarily reflective of your graduate learning potential. And that will be considered as part of your overall application package. Additionally, of course, because we're an online program, we want to make sure that you have the necessary reliable internet connections and basic technologies. So what does the application process entail? First, there are some key pieces that I'll touch on in terms of the application process. You will need to create a statement of purpose, and I'll talk about that momentarily. You'll include a resume or CV. You'll need 3 letters of recommendation, a copy of your unofficial transcripts, and a special note that we no longer require the GRE. Additionally, then, once you have gathered those materials, you'll be completing our online application. There is an application fee in the amount of $75 that will accompany your materials, and then you'll be able to upload all of the subsequent information that you are asked to complete. So let's take a little closer look at the application materials and what exactly is required. So the first piece is the statement of purpose. This is a critical part of your application. So I want to be really specific about a few of these requirements. The first one being, we want to see a concise, focused piece of writing that does not exceed 2 pages. Within that statement, you should describe evidence in your educational practice of your commitment to addressing equity and social justice issues, or your desire to lead. Focus on eliminating inequities that you may have experienced within your current setting or classroom, and essentially move beyond just telling us that you care about equity, and strive to show us through specific examples that you may have encountered during your work. Additionally, you can describe evidence of your instructional excellence with a diverse range of learners, again, speaking to those very concrete examples, or describe evidence of leadership excellence related to equity and diversity. This might be formal leadership roles or informal roles that you have had the privilege of serving in. You could also describe anything else that you would like us to know about why you would be an excellent candidate for the program. Again, just a friendly reminder that if your GPA is below the 3.0, that additional statement explaining why that does not reflect your potential is certainly considered as part of your application packet. Additionally, then your resume or CV. So this should be your most current, this should be a reflection of your most current and up-to-date relevant work and volunteer experience. Be sure to include all education experiences from formal institutions that you have attended, including any degrees, majors, relevant GPAs, and the years attended. And again, just a note about the format, you'll be uploading these as PDF or document files. And then we ask for letters of recommendation, 3 specifically. We recommend that you ask 3 people who are qualified to speak to your academic and professional competence. Generally speaking, we do encourage candidates to ask individuals who currently serve or have served in supervisory types of roles. This could be a department chair, a grade level chair, an assistant principal, a head principal, or anyone in the central office that may have knowledge of your competence in your specific area or knowledge of your leadership potential. This gives you a general idea of the types of information that we'll be looking for when it comes to the recommendations. And I point this out because when you are moving through the application, you will be filling out the information that will be deployed to the people who are writing a recommendation for you. So you can see you'll be recording their contact information, and then the automated system down here in the bottom left-hand corner. Once you hit send to recommender, that will then send an email with an accompanying link to the 3 individuals you have selected or are requesting a letter of recommendation from. No need to ask them for letters up front to be sent to you because they will be able to do it through this automated system. So completing the online application, you've gathered your materials, now you're moving through the actual application. Some important things to note: be sure to indicate that your application is for the summer term. This is important because we are a summer start or have a summer start to our program. When you are completing the graduate school application, it's also important that you select the correct program option in the graduate school's online form. We have a number of programs through the Department of Educational Leadership and Policy Analysis. And so you'll want to very specifically note that you are looking for the Educational Leadership and Policy Analysis Wisconsin Idea Principal Preparation Masters in the first drop-down menu. From there, you'll be able to upload your statement of purpose. Nothing that you do within this process should be mailed or emailed or anything of that nature because everything is done through the online application portal. This includes uploading your resume or CV. And I think just a final note about the process as a whole, it does take some time to complete the whole application. Be sure that you're gathering information as much as you can on the front end. This will ultimately assist you with progress and finishing the application within a short period of time. Just a note to give you a visual, this is what I was referring to. When you click on program selection, you can see that there are a variety of ed leadership programs to select from, but specifically you are looking for the Wisconsin Idea Principal Preparation Program. Once you are nearing completion, you will be prompted by the graduate school to submit your $75 for the application fee. This is payable via credit card, wire transfer, or e-check. And the graduate school does offer a limited number of application fee grants to make sure that the fee is not a barrier. So you can click here if you're watching the recording to learn a little bit more about that, or feel free to reach out to me. I am more than happy to connect and answer any questions that you might have. And so that is our general overview of the application process. It is linked for you here for an easy start, and we hope to see any number of you applying to our online principal preparation program. If during the course of this recording you have developed any questions or would like to reach out for a conversation, gather further information, I would be more than happy to connect with you. Additionally, Victor Escalona is a teacher assistant for our program, and his information is available on the screen as well. And so with that, I want to thank you for joining me and listening to this recording. And I look forward to hearing from all of you in the near future. Take care.